mission impossible for Manchester United over in the Champions League after they've suffered back-to-back defeats. Are they already out? Or can they make amends this coming midweek? We're going to take a little look. That's right, folks. Promise game in a prediction video. Today, we're taking a look at match number 3, of course, over in the Champions League, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button back and say all things Rovers related, Champions League related, world football related. We're all here, boys, under one roof. That's right, United in a bit of trouble, as are Dortmund. Of course, they need to get their act together if they're going to get out of the group of death. Of course, we'll take a look at that, all of it in a second. Of course, a big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. You know who you are. And again, make sure you bang the like, of course, to feed the YouTube algorithm and get your Champions League content just like this, as well as support the channel as well. And make sure you subscribe. A whopping 78% of you are unsubscribed, because we want to get those numbers a little bit closer to home, of course. But let's waste no more further ado and jump in the deep end and talk about this, guys. It is the Champions League. We are wide open, and match day number 3 is just around the corner. But before all that, let's recap how we all got on, including me, in match day number 2. So let's recap those shit results that I got here. Just the 30 points from match day number 2. So here we go. Salzburg lost at home to Real Sociedad. Of course, that's my Spanish team there. So a good win for Sociedad, but 2-0 win for me the other way. Absolutely shocking. Meanwhile, Braga, 3-2 win over Union Berlin. Just struggled here so far in the Champions League and struggled domestically. It's not been great season for Union Berlin. 3-2 win as well. Meanwhile, Internazionale with the 1-0 win over Benfica. I went with the 2-0. Ain't too shabby there. Real Madrid with a 3-2 win over Napoli. I went with the draw myself. PSV with a 2-2 draw with Sevilla. I went with the 2-0 win myself. On that one, Lens with the 2-1 win over Arsenal. That's the one that went under the radar. 2-0 win for me, going the other way. Meanwhile, Copenhagen 2-1 win for Bayern. That was a nervy one as well. 3-0 win it was my pick. United 3-2 loss to Galatasaray at home. 2-0 win for me for United, so they need something special there. Shakhtar Donetsk with a 3-2 away win over Antwerp. I went with a 0-0 draw as well. Atletico Madrid 3-2 win over Feyenoord. I went with a 2-1. Barcelona with a 1-0 away win over Porto. I went with a draw. Red Star Belgrade with a 2-2 draw against Young Boys Bern. I went with a 2-0. Man City 3-1 win on the road. I went with a 3-0. Newcastle 4-1 win over PSG. That was a result and a half right there. 2-0 win in my eyes. Dortmund 0, Milan 0. I went with a draw as well. And Celtic lost at home to Lazio. Sarri ball came out on top. 2-0 win for me on this one. That's my picks. What about your guys' picks? Let's take a little look. Don't look at this too much just yet. Let's jump in the deep end and have a look at match number 2. So Lewis, 54 points for him. Well done to you. 37%, 48. Nico ZT in the bronze. I'm all the way down here with 30. It's pretty grim for me. Nearly the worst of the lot. Oh, I need to get my act together on this one. But of course, if you see your name in there, make sure you bang the likes, of course, and bang the subscribe, of course, if you are new. But the overall leaderboard has me in... still struggling down 17th spot, not great, but Michael's top charts 98 points, 37% of course in second. Kevin's up there in third as well. Very tight race for the top of the table here, of course. Just 6 points separate first from 10th. But it will change very soon as well. If you want to get involved with all this and that, I will show you just how to do that in 1 second here as I hop on over to the screen right here and now. So this is the link. Get involved. Cut your / UCL, whatever it is, and get part of the. And here's the link, just in case you don't know. It's cut your / UCL 2324 to get involved with the prediction league itself. So that's that. Let's of course jump into the deep end and have a little look at, of course, the next round of matches, which of course, in fact, let's have a look at the tables. I need to show you the table. So here we go, jumping in the deep end with that bad boy. Of course, top charts over in Group A is Bayern, 2 for 2 for them. Galatasaray are in second with 4 points on the board. Man United still can do this. They all need back-to-back wins over Copenhagen, and then probably an away win against Galatasaray, and hope everything else goes their way. Of course, it's not looking pretty for them, but they'll have their work to do if they're going to get out of it. Meanwhile, Group B sees Lens top the charts there, unbeaten start for them. Arsenal and Sevilla, and then PSV make up a very tricky Group B. It's not done and dusted as well for Arsenal. They've got work to do to get out of that one as well. Meanwhile, Real Madrid top Group C with Napoli and Braga hot on the heels. Union Berlin way over their head at the moment, you would imagine. Sociedad top the charts in Group D, level alongside with Internazionale. Salzburg still in it, and Benfica so far a bit disappointing with with no points on the board. Atletico Madrid top the charts alongside Lazio in Group E. Feyenoord in third. Celtic got a lot of work to do as well. Group F sees Newcastle yet to taste defeat. PSG are in second though, Milan and then Dortmund. With Group G sees Man City, of course, the champions. Perfect start for them. 2 wins out of 2. Leipzig, Young Boys Bern and Red Star Belgrade. And then top the charts in Group H, it's Barcelona with Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk and Antwerp at the minute. That's, of course, the situation over there. But, of course, we are getting cracking with the next round of games, of course, which is match day number 3. So let's get into it, of course, and take a closer look at them, of course. Starting with the toss, the top of the shop here, it will be Internazionale up against Salzburg, of course. Let's jump in the deep. And it's actually taking place on, where is it? Actually, on Tuesday, October the 24th. Now, these two sides have played each other 2 times since 2022. It's 2 wins out of 2 for Inter. Of course, their biggest win was a 4-0 win. In fact, they scored 8 goals in those 2 matches. Works out at 4 goal a game average. Up against Salzburg, of course, under Gerhard Struber, former Barnsley manager. 3 goals scored in those 2 matches, 1.50 goals a game. Internazionale, though, just 1 defeat by 67% form for them right now. They are second in the table with 4 points on the board. Up against Salzburg, well, of course, what we're looking at here, 58% form for them, winning 3 of the last 6. Coming at you, of course, last time around, though, in Italy, it was a 4-0 win way back in December 2022. It was a friendly. These were friendly games, so I don't really read too much into it. Inter with a 2-2 draw against Bologna pre-international break, taking on Torino this coming weekend. Up against Salzburg, who did draw with Austria Klagenfurt pre-international break, taking on Lasic this weekend. They're expected to win that game. But the odds for this, we got tentatively on as your Inter, 4-1 as your draw, 8-1 as your long shot. It's going to go with a 3-0 win. Inter at home should be an easy banker on this one. Galatasaray taking on Bayern, of course, over in Group A. Now, these two sides have played each other never, which is a surprise. Both sides coming on 92% form for them. Of course, winning 5 of the last 6. Galatasaray haven't lost in the last 16 matches. Bayern, though, haven't lost in the last 10. And Galatasaray haven't lost any of the last 7 home matches either. They did pick up a 2-0 win over Atalanta Spor. That was pre-international break. Take on Besiktas this weekend. They're expected to beat them as well. Bayern, of course, red hot at the minute. Big 3-0 win for Freiburg. But they're taking on Mainz this weekend. And again, expected to tonk them as well. The odds here, 92 is your Galatasaray, 50-4 is the draw, 2-1 on is of course your Bayern. It's a tight one to go on this one. I'm going to go with Bayern, 2-1 win for them, which will give Manchester United hope that they can at least close the gap in 2 seconds. But Benfica up against Sociedad over in Portugal. Now, these two sides have never played each other, which is, again, is a surprise. Benfica, they're winning 4 of the last 6, 67% form for them right now. Up against Sociedad, 75% form for them right now, just a 1 defeat in the past 6, of course. Sociedad did lose to Atletico pre-international break, taking on Mallorca this weekend. They're expected to win the game at home. Benfica, big 4-1 win over Lustiana. That was, of course, earlier in the weekend. Their next match is against Sociedad over the Champions League. 11-10 on it. 11-10 is your Benfica, 12-5 is your draw, and 12-5 is your away win. Another tight one here. I think Benfica will get the win on this one. They need to get going and put the points in the bag if they're going to compete in this one whatsoever. Meanwhile, Union Berlin up against Napoli, of course. Still, the manager is Rudy Garcia. I think there is a little bit of pressure on his shoulders right now. However, Union Berlin coming to this with the worst form I've seen in a long, long time. 6 defeats on the spin. In fact, they haven't won in the last 7 matches. Up against Napoli, back-to-back defeats, 58% form for them. Of course, Napoli did pick up a loss against Fiorentina most recently. They are taking on Hellas Verona, expected to win that game. Union Berlin taking on Stuttgart, at a game which could go either way in the Bundesliga. Of course, the odds here we have, where are we? Union Berlin 13-5 for the victory, 9-4 is the draw. Even Stevens is, of course, your away win here. I'm going to go with a draw here. I think Union Berlin at home can be a little bit of a intimidating thing. And again, depending on what's going on with the coach in Napoli, if they get a win this weekend, will he still be at the helm for the midweek game against this one? So I don't know. I'm going to go with a draw, which, of course, is a good plus for Union Berlin on this one. Braga up against Real Madrid, of course, come at you again in Portugal. Now, these two sides have played each other never, but Braga winning 5 of the bounce, of course, looking pretty good at the moment. 82% form for them right now. Up against Real Madrid, winning 5 of the last 6, 83% form for them as well. Braga with a big 2-0 win over Rabadosa in their Portuguese top flight. That was, of course, earlier in the weekend. Of course, Real Madrid with a big 4-0 win over Osasuna pre-international break, taking on Sevilla this weekend. They're expected to win that game in La Liga. The odds right here, right now, we're looking at Braga 90-4 for the victory, 7-2 is your draw, 2-1 on is Real Madrid. They're going to win this one as well. 2-0 win for me on this one. Take the 3 points and again, move the chains. Lens up against PSV in Group B. Of course, Lens unbeaten in the last 6 games, looking red hot. 75% form for them right now. Meanwhile, PSV unbeaten in the last 5, 75% form for them as well. Of course, looking pretty good domestically. Meanwhile, they pick up a 4-0 win against Sparta. That was back in the earlier in the break. Taking on Fortuna Sittard in the top flight in the Dutch leagues, with, of course, Lens drawing with Le Havre. That was, of course, yesterday. Back-to-back draws for them. in the domestic league. The odds right here, right now, we've got 13-10 is your lens, 5-2 is your draw, 19-10 is your away win. Again, a tough one here. Could go either way. Really going to sit on the fence on this one, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for PSV. A shocker, perhaps, because I need some points if I'm going to challenge again for the prediction league. Meanwhile, Sevilla up against Arsenal coming at you over in Spain. Now, these two sides have played each other 5 times since 2007. Got 2 wins apiece and 1 draw. Biggest win for Sevilla, 3-1 win. Scored 6 goals in those 5 games, 1.20 goals a game. Up against Arsenal, their biggest win, 6-0 win, scoring 12 goals in the 5 games, 2.40 goals a game. Sevilla, just a 1 win in 6, so 50% form for them right now. Of course, up against Arsenal, just a 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them heading into this. Last time around, though, over at Spain, in competitive action, it was a 3-1 win for Sevilla back in November 2007. Of course, Sevilla with a 2-2 draw with Vallecano most recently. Pre-international break, taking on Real Madrid this weekend. They're expected to lose that game. Meanwhile, Arsenal with a big 1-0 win over Man City, taking on Chelsea this weekend. They're expected to win that one, but that's not my thoughts. I think they'll lose that game against Chelsea. But the odds here, we have 60-5 is your Sevilla, 11-4 is the draw, 5-4 on is your Arsenal. Again, I think it's a tight one here. I'm going with a 2-2. It's probably going to be a 1-1, something like that. I just don't think they can get another win on the road here. Meanwhile, Manchester United, they're taking on Copenhagen. Of course, that's over in Old Trafford. Played each other 3 times, 2006, 2 wins for Man United, 1 for Copenhagen, and no draws. Biggest win for United, 3-0 win, scoring 4 goals in those 3 games, 1.33 goals a game. Up against Copenhagen, just 1-0 win for them, 1 goal scored in the 3 games, 0.33 goals a game. United, 50% form for them right now, 1-3 and lost 3 up against Copenhagen. 3 matches without a win, 50% form for them. However, they've lost none of the last 13 away matches. Incredible away form for Copenhagen heading into this. However, last time played each other at Manchester United and Old Trafford, it was a 1-0 win for Man United. It was quarter-final stage of the Europa League back in August 2020. That must have been the COVID season. 2-1 win. It was 2-1 win. It was for Man United pre-international break, taking on Sheffield United this weekend. They were expected to win that game. Copenhagen did draw with Arius in their top flight, taking on Veggie this weekend, and they're expected to win that game as well. The odds here, we have United 11-4 on for the victory, 4-1 draw, 13-2 is your win. Bounce back ability, you would imagine here. United 3-0 winners, and of course getting back into the mix, hopefully for their sake, in the Champions League. We have Barcelona taking on Shakhtar Donetsk, of course, over in Spain. Of course, now these two sides have played each other 7 times since 2004. We've got 5 wins for Barcelona, 2 for Shakhtar, 0 draws. Of course, Barcelona's biggest win, 5-1 win, scoring 14 goals in 7 matches, 2 goals a game average. Meanwhile, Shakhtar, their biggest win, 2-0 win, scoring 7 goals in the 7 matches, a goal a game average. Barcelona, they're unbeaten in the last 14 matches, 83% form for them over the last 6, winning 4 of the last 6. Up against Shakhtar, 58% form for them right now, 2 defeats the last 6. Of course, last time they played each other over in Spain was a big 5-1 win for Barcelona back in April 2011. Of course, Shakhtar's one and only win was in Ukraine. 2-0 win it was way back in 2004, of course. Barcelona 2-2 draw with Granada last time around. Big result that was for Granada. Meanwhile, they're taking on Bilbao this weekend. They're expected to win that game. Shakhtar taking on Chelsea this weekend. But of course, the odds for this one, we have Barcelona 61 on for the victory, 30-2 is your 12-1 is your long shot. It's going to go with a 2-0 win. Barcelona, again, comfortably done. 3 points in the bag. And away they go. Final order against Lazio, of course, over in the Dutchlands. Now, these two sides have played each other 2 times since 2022. A win apiece. Of course, finals one and only win was a 1-0 win. In fact, they've scored 3 goals, though, in those 2 matches. Of course, a goal and a half. 1.5 goals a game on average. Lazio, their biggest win, 4-2 win. Scored 4 goals in the 2 games. Scores 2 goals a game on average. Final, though, 83% form for them right now. Just a 1 defeat the last 6. Up against Lazio, of course, 1 defeat the past 6 for them. 67% form for them. Of course, 3 wins the last 4. They're starting to bubble under Sarri ball once again. Last time around, of course, in the Dutchlands was a 1-0 win for Feyenoord back in November 2022. That was in Group F last year. Meanwhile, Feyenoord with a big 2-0 win over Zwolle pre-international break, taking on VT's Arnhem this weekend. Lazio 3-2 win over Atalanta, taking on Sassuolo this weekend. Again, they're expected to win that game as well. The odds here for this one over in the Dutchlands, we're looking at Feyenoord 2017 on for the victory, 11-4 is a draw, 14-5 is your away win. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Feyenoord here, 3 points in the bag, and away they go. Antwerp up against Porto, of course, over in Belgium. Now, these two sides have never played each other, but Antwerp coming to us on the back of one win in the last 6, 42% form for them right now. Up against Porto, 4 wins the last 6 games, 67% form for them heading into this. Last round, of course, a big 4-1 win for Antwerp over Eupen in the Juniper League, taking on Charleroi. They're expected to win that game. Meanwhile, Porto with a big 2-0 win over CD Valvar in the Portuguese Cup earlier in the weekend. Comfortably done for them. Looking forward to this game, though. The odds 5-2 is your Antwerp, 12-5 is your draw. Even Stevens is, of course, your away win. This one's tough. It could go either way. I'm playing it safe. Going to go with a 0-0 draw on this one. Not too impressed with Porto thus far. Hopefully they'll click it a gear and show us what they're all about. Meanwhile, Young Boys burn up against Manchester City. Play each other never. These two sides. Young Boys, of course, one defeat to the last 5 for them. 58% form for them. Up against City, 1-3 and lost 3 over the last 6. 50% form for them right now. Just the one win in 4 for them heading into this. Of course, they did lose to Arsenal most recently. However, taking on Brighton this weekend, they're expected to win that game. Meanwhile, Young Boys burn with a big 3-0 win over Basel, taking on Zurich this weekend. They're expected to win that game as well. Both sides at home domestically, but of course, Man City on the road for this one. 11-1 is your Young Boys, 6-1 is your draw, 5-1 on is your Man City. Gonna go with a 3-0 win, and I'm probably gonna play my booster on that one. Leipzig up against Red Star Belgrade over in the same group. Of course, that's Group G. Never played each other though, these two sides. Leipzig without a win in 3 now, 6-7% form for them over the last 6. Up against Red Star Belgrade, unbeaten in the last 4, 58% form for them, winning 3 and drawing the 1, including a 16 win over Tadial in their top flight in their domestic cup there. Leipzig with a 0-0 draw against Bochum. Taking on Darmstadt this weekend, they're expected to win that game. Red Star taking on Javor in their Super League in their domestic competition. 4-1 on is your Leipzig, 11-2 is your draw, 70-2 is your away win. 2-0 win for me. The popular votes going with it. Leipzig with the win. Meanwhile, Newcastle United up against Dortmund up at St. James's Park. Never played each other. These two sides. The Geordies unbeaten in the last 7 games. 83% form for them over the last 6. Up against Dortmund unbeaten in the last 5. 75% form for them right now, winning 4 of the last 5. Of course, Dortmund with a big 1-0 win over Bremen. That was earlier in the weekend. That was Friday night. Newcastle did beat West Ham earlier, pre-international break, taking on Crystal Palace this week, and they're expected to win that game as well. But the odds for this one, the Geordies 5-4 on for the victory, 14-5 is the draw here. We've got 60-5 is your away win. Tight one. Going to go with, I know they've been impressive so far. Going to go with just a 2-1 win for Newcastle. Unfortunately, Dortmund don't look like they're going to compete to get out of the groups on this one. Meanwhile, PSG against AC Milan, same group. That's of course Group F, the group of death. Played each other just the one time. Of course, it was a friendly most recently. We're not really looking to that. PSG though, 1 defeat past 5, 58% form for them right now. AC Milan unbeaten in the last 6 games, 83% form for them right now, winning 4 out of the last 5, of course, including a 1-0 win over Genoa pre-international break. And they're looking at, 3 clean sheets on the spin right now. Taking on Juventus, so zinger chicken dinner over in the top flight in Italy. They're expected to win that game. Meanwhile, PSG coming into on the back of that 3-1 win over Rennes, taking on Strasbourg, and again, comfortably should win that game this weekend. 4-3 on is your PSG, 40-5 is the draw, 65 is your win. We're going to go with a draw here, point to piece. PSG, not the real deal these days. Even though they got Kylian Mbappe, they just look a little bit less. There's a lot less about them these days. A lot less to love about them. And then finally, it's Celtic. It's Atletico Madrid, of course. Should we just wrap it up? Atletico Madrid win there? No. We'll give Celtic a bit of hope here, if I can see it. Over in Scotland, Brendan Rodgers trying to get something out of this team. Played the 2 times in 2011. 2 wins out of 2 for Atletico. Nothing for Celtic. Of course, the biggest win for Atletico was a 2-0 win, scoring 3 goals in the 2 matches, 1.50 goals a game. Celtic, though, 4 wins in the last 6, 67% form for them right now. Atletico unbeaten in at least the last 6 games, winning 5 in the spin, 92% form for them. Of course, last round in Glasgow was a 1-0 win for Atletico back in November 2011. That was in the Europa League group stages. Celtic with a big 3-1 win over Kilmarnock, taking on Hearts this weekend. Expected to win that game. Meanwhile, Atletico with a big 2-1 win over Real Sociedad pre-international break, taking on Celta Vigo this weekend. The odds here are 13-5 is your Celtic, 13-5 is the draw. 2019 on is, of course, your Atletico. Going to go with a 2-1 win as well for Atletico on this one to take it to the bank. That, my friends, is what I've got for. Don't forget to play your booster. I played mine right here. Of course, let's see if we can get some good results on that one. That's my take. Of course, match number 3 is, of course, very, very near. Of course, we'll be back for match number 4. But until then, make sure you bang the thumbs up, of course. Make sure that the YouTube algorithm works for you by giving this video a like it, or make sure that you get the content that you want, whether it's Champions League predictions, whether it is, of course, prediction shows, or stuff like this. And also, it does support the channel. It does support this video. Gets more eyes on the prize. And as well, make sure you subscribe. A whopping 80 or 78% of you are not subscribed. Let's get those numbers more closer to ground zero, guys. I do appreciate the support on the channel. And again, if you want to help us out in another way, check me out. I'm on Twitter, Patreon, all that kind of good stuff. But until then, dudes, I'm out of here.